News 8 are live in Washington. Doug, thank you. Founding Father Benjamin Franklin is quoted as saying, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes." Well, he's pretty much right for the most part, right? But our own Fox 5 real estate expert John Adams says not so fast when it comes to this year's property taxes. There's still time to appeal your assessment, but that window is closing fast. And he joins us now with some answers. How we doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Trying to save some money here.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing to do. So we know you're always going to get a property tax bill every year. Nothing's going to change there, right?
That's not changed.
Never going to change.
That's right.
All right, so what are we talking about here?
Well, what we're talking about is in the state of Georgia, property taxes are administered on a county-by-county basis. We have 159 counties. Each county has a tax commissioner, and that tax commissioner decides when they're going to mail the notice of assessment. That triggers the entire process.
You know, you get one, and it's so confusing to look at when you see all the red numbers on there and trying to figure everything out. So what's in this notice of assessment?
The notice of assessment is important because it contains your valuation and of what your property was worth on January 1st of 2017. And that number, if you don't protest it, will be used by the county to determine your property tax bill. And the key here is if it's higher than it should be, you end up paying more than your fair share, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Okay, so if you want to appeal, it's so simple, right? There's an easy deadline. It's easy to understand, right?
Well, the problem is that the deadline is 45 days after the county where the property is located claims they mailed.
Keyword claims.
Claims,
yes.
That's right. And sometimes they get to you and sometimes they don't. We won't disparage the post office. But nonetheless, that deadline is set in concrete and there are no exceptions. And so it's important that you act during that 45 days. It may be a full year before you actually have your meeting with the Board of Equalization, but once you've got that appeal in, you're protected.
How do you know about your particular county when the deadline is?
Well, it would be nice if it was in the paper. It's not. And so pretty much you're going to need to either, if you don't see your notice of assessment, call the county tax commissioner. I'm sure they'll be unhappy with me for saying this, folks, but the reality is the only way for you to know for sure if you don't have the notice of assessment is to call the tax commissioner's office. And for example, Buck, Gwinnett has, they're traditionally one of the first counties. They mailed this year on April 7th, which is 7 days after the beginning of mailing season. And their deadline's coming up May 22nd. Cobb County mailed a little bit later. Their deadline's coming up June 19th, and supposedly Fulton County is going to be mailing on May 19th. We'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
What happens if I can't find or I struggle to find any information?
Again, you can always call the county tax commissioner. A lot of counties now are allowing you to file your appeal online. And if the county does that, it's extremely convenient. Gwinnett, again, was one of the first to do that. And it really makes it easier for them because there's less paperwork, and easier for you because you just fill out a form online. But not every county is quite that technologically sophisticated, and so again, call the tax commissioner. The form that you'll need is right here, and this is a state form. It's a PT 311A. That's an easy number.
The PT 311A, yeah.
The old PT 311A. And
I used to drive one of those, I think.
I think you did, in fact. But it's important because if you think there's a possibility that your home is being estimated at a value that's higher than what it really could have sold for on January 1st, you're going to end up paying more than your fair share of taxes, and that's what we're trying to avoid. All
right, John. Well, I'm sure there'll be some interesting discussion in your Facebook talk. John will be here for the next hour to answer all your real estate questions on our Fox 5 Atlanta Facebook page. 8:37 is your time coming up on Good Day.